Like, what do you want to stay for? You've had your own request to do certain things for them to make it right. If they just would have made it right for Kyrie and took care of it, I know everybody, Kyrie's too wishy-washy. Why would they do that? Because you got Kevin Durant. That's why you would do it.
Here's how complicated it is. Ready, real quick? I'll give you guys a couple notes.
Very ready.
It's going to sum it up. So externally, we say Kevin Durant's the best player. It's his team. Whereas internally, it was Kyrie Irving's team.
Right. But is that okay?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's okay or not. I'm just telling you what it was. Kyrie Irving was the one that wanted to be in Brooklyn, was the one that was like, Katie, let's figure this out. They got James Harden. But at the end of the day, when they didn't treat Kyrie right, like Kyrie was like, this is my team. My team.
You know, I have a theory about that nowadays based on that, Jay. I think that your best player doesn't have to be the alpha in the locker room, but it can't be your second best player. It got to be your third best player, right?
CP3.
Right. It could be CP3. But when it's the second best player that's got the alpha personality, he's too close to the first best player. And now whose team it is, and there's a dynamic problem.
Steph Curry didn't have the alpha, right? He was like, all right, whatever, we win. Draymond Green.
But it's a simple solution. It's not that difficult. If Kyrie is problematic, and all of those things, and KD, who's a superstar, is trying to tell you how to handle the situation, you can handle it that way, and you won't have those problems. But clearly, the Brooklyn Nets didn't feel that way.
Yeah, there's culpability on the team as well as on the players.
How many dudes have we seen in professional sports that wasn't all put together per the organization, but they figured it out? How many?
When we return in a matter of moments.
Antonio Brown, Tom Brady.
Jay's top 5 big 3 of the last 15 years in the NBA. Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Max, ESPN Radio.
Won a chip.
This is where the king made history.
LeBron, one-on-one against Kenrick Williams, backing him in, turns, shoots, scores! There it is! Oh, hell! The new king in town!
One of the most iconic records in sports now belongs to the king.
The king, LeBron James, has passed the captain.
Congrats to the new king of scoring in NBA history. The home of King James and the Los Angeles Lakers
Is 710 ESPN.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
hello,
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hey, ESPN listeners, it's Chad Kelman, the general manager at Community Chevrolet in Burbank. As a husband and a dad of a 4- and 10-year-old, I know that finding ways to save are more important than ever. Here at Community, it is our mission to find you the best possible deal for your next ride. If you own your car or are currently leasing, we are experts at finding ways to unlock your equity and have everything from the most affordable all-electric Bolt EV to America's favorite Chevy Silverado. Community Chevrolet, find new roads.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
Over 2.8 million Americans have served in our military since 9/11. Many have returned home with devastating injuries and few resources for them and their families. This is news correspondent Bob Woodruff. I sustained a life-threatening injury while reporting from Iraq in 2006. The military had my back that day, and they have each other's while serving. It's time we had theirs. Please join us as part of the Got Your Six initiative. To learn more, go to gotyoursix.org using the number 6.
Having low income can mean making tough choices. Choosing between paying for food or medication or a place to live is a reality for many people. Do you know someone who could use some extra help? Find out about the Supplemental Security Income Program, SSI, administered by Social Security. You could receive monthly SSI payments if your income and financial resources are low and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability or who is blind. SSI is money you can use to help pay for basic needs, like putting food on the table, keeping the lights on, paying the rent. It can mean new shoes for growing feet or help with medical needs. Call 1-800-772-1213 or visit ssa.gov/SSI to schedule an appointment or start to apply today. That's ssa.gov/SSI. This message produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
KSPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma. This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Good morning. I think they need a veteran presence that has some championship experience that can kind of help them understand the bigger picture versus the young, talented, hippity hop, all that. Just hippity hop. Yeah, swag. Everything ain't gonna be about swag. It's gonna be about winning, and they need that veteran presence to teach them that, Jay.
February 9th, 2023 is the day Keyshawn Johnson became an old man.
Hippity hop.
You know, the hippity hop.
The hippity hoppity hips.
Word up, son.
Here is not a test. I'm working to be the group. And my friends are gonna try to move your feet. See,
I thought Jordan was old.
Yeah. Jordan's 60 today.
I'm sitting here looking at Max rapping. I just envision him with a Kango on, with some Air Force Ones, just kicking
it.
Yeah, but he couldn't just have. But that would he would have to have gazelles on.
Gazelles,
in a big old chain.
Hold up. First there were Lees. You had to have the crease right down the middle of the Lees, and they had to match the La Tigre exactly. It had to be the same color.
Have you ever?
And then there were Vascos. Those were two-toned. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Jay, do you iron your clothes? Like, do you iron your clothes?
Yeah.
Or you just take them and put them on because they were already like folded and ironed for you or whatever?
No, I still iron my clothes.
Have you ever used starch on your jeans?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know because I haven't seen starch in 100 years. So, right back.
How about this, Key? What about Griffin? Remember Griffin?
No.
Griffin was like white paint that came in with a little sponge on the end.
Oh, for your shoes.
Yeah.
Griffin,
but see, that's when I was super broke.
But Griffin, you would have the Adidas,
super
the shell
broke.
tops, right?
Yeah, but that's when you were super. You was super broke. Yeah, but that's you got two pair of shoes. You got two pair of shoes.
That's all you got to work with. Yeah.
You got two pair of shoes for 2 years. I mean, like, come on, man.
We've all been there.
I used to pretend my foot was growing even when it wasn't, just to get the new kicks.
No, you got to put the sock. No, you got to put the sock. You put the sock at the front of the toe.
That's too much, man.
No, but that was
so you
walk around looking like a clown
with y'all, man.
All right, listen. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio. We've been talking KD all morning. We still got to get to Jay's top big three of the modern era. Well, modern era. It's not the modern era. It's since 2008. It's since the first big three of this century, right? When
Danny Ainge made the move.
Yeah, Danny Ainge got the Celtics. He brought in Kevin Garnett, and he brought in Ray Allen to go with Paul Pierce. And LeBron saw that and said, oh, damn, that's how we're doing it. And then he made his own big three in Miami with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade. And the question is, where does this latest big three of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and whatever CP3's got left, where does this rank, Jay? So we're going to get to your list in a second. Here is Kevin Durant at the post-game, at the introductory press conference in Phoenix on the Suns' postseason expectations.
I know it's pressure because I'm one of the best players that ever played a game. So every time, so every time I step on the floor, people are going to expect me to do great things, and the team I'm on to do great things. But I enjoy getting better as a player every day. I enjoy just waking up and getting to do this. So I don't ever say anything's a failure if I'm healthy enough to play the game of basketball. But I know what's on our backs, and we understand that, and we want to do the most. We want to get the most out of this opportunity.
The first big three in Boston won a championship.
Yes, they did.
But as soon as they got put together, LeBron's big three was heavily criticized for not winning a championship year one, but they won 2 out of 4 and went to 4 straight finals. The big three in Golden State, you want to call it that, won championships. One of the big disappointments of KD, Kyrie, and James Harden is not a single championship came out of it.
Not even that, 17 games.
17 games together, right? They didn't play
games
together,
came out of it.
Not even 20 games.
Not even 20,
Jay,
17.
what are the top 5 big threes since that Celtics?
Sounds like a lot of word salad for you to get that
Last
out.
15 years.
That was really difficult.
Friday,
That wasn't word salad. It was just too many words. Not a salad. Word salad, just a
Max
bunch
has
of words.
worked 60 hours this week.
He's doing 30,000
I got Max
shows.
unboxing today, and then this just
Give me the numbers, Yates.
Number 5.
LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Love. Look, the 2015-2016 season, you remember they went against that 73-win Golden State team. Whatever you want to say about Draymond Green, if you want to give it excuses for the kick to the place he should never have kicked, LeBron James baited him into that.
Yeah.
And with Kyrie, look, being down 3-1 was one of the greatest comebacks in the history of basketball.
Sports.
And
History
finding
sports.
a way to win. They are number 5 on my list of best big threes since the 2008 KG, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce trio has started. That's number 5. Next up.
Number 4.
I put respect in their names. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. They got one chip early in their career together, and they just finalized it last year, cementing the legacy of this best big three being one of the best of all time, okay? Draymond Green, even if he wasn't himself, he was still on the team. Klay Thompson, coming off injury, was still on the team. Steph Curry, NBA Finals MVP. He sealed the deal. I think he is top 10 of all time. He is keep moving up that list. They are number 4. Next up.
Number 3.
Max made mention of it. 4 straight NBA Finals. The decision, the drama around that for LeBron James to go down to Miami. They won 2 out of 4 championships. The Heatles, whether you love them or hate them, is one of the best big threes. And the way it went down, it was D-Wade's team at first. D-Wade said, LeBron, take the keys to this Ferrari, man. You drive this damn thing. They figured it out, and it turned into one of the best big threes to ever play the game. LeBron James, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, led by Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. That's number 3. Number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah, I'm going to put respect in their name. Even though post-2008, they got you one chip in 2014, it's just about the history of it. That's Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker, right? And that is the holy trinity for me with the way these guys played. And you can even add in, if you want to say, Tony was a shell of himself, that was more Kawhi Leonard, 2014, fine. And take Tony off and add Kawhi Leonard with Manu and Tim Duncan. Look, 22 consecutive playoff appearances, okay? Arguably the best power forward to ever play the game of basketball. He's a 2 NBA MVP awards for Tim Duncan, 3 finals MVPs. And in that year with Kawhi winning the finals MVP, it was the culmination of one of the greatest dynasties in all of sports history. I just want to put respect in their name at number 2. And finally, number 1. Man, that's KD, Steph, and Klay. Yeah, I don't care what anybody says. That is the best trio to ever play the game of basketball. You want to debate me about Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman?
I do, but I can hear
debate
your
me
argument.
on it.
Yeah, I hear
there's no skill set better than Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and KD.
Different era.
Different era is fine.
Yeah, different eras. But Jay is right that they had 2 MVP level players on the same team. But Steph was an MVP level player, so was KD. MVP, not just all-star.
And most unstoppable skill set trio in the game of basketball history.
Sure.
So
skills get better and better as time goes on.
So now we got CP3, Devin, and KD.
Oh, they on the outside. I need to see where it is first. You can't be top 5.
So I would just on paper, I would squeeze them in the 4 spot, just on paper, and remove Steph, Clay, and Dre. In the 4 spot.
I can't do that.
I ain't doing that.
I can't do that.
In the 4, I would squeeze them in the 4 spot.
You need to win a chip.
I get it, but I'm just saying, I'm assuming.
On paper, looking at
we're playing, we're playing,
on paper, looking at it, Kyrie
radio
Irving,
and
James
TV.
Harden. If we playing radio on TV, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and KD.
But it didn't work.
Yeah, but that's what
But we saw that.
Paper.
No, but we saw that, though.
In other words, you're giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I did see it for 17 games. It worked now.
No.
It's going to be on the court.
I understand that. We
One
saw
thing
that,
I want
but
to
it
say
didn't
about
finish.
Key, when you say you would take them off the Steph, Clay, Dre, one thing I think people need to be careful about. It's like when people look at Kobe's efficiency numbers. They go, he's not efficient. Kobe straddled 2 eras as the game was getting more efficient. So his numbers, efficiency-wise, make him look worse than he actually was. If you lived through the Kobe era, you know he's better even than the numbers suggest he is, okay?
Absolutely.
You got to be careful with, to me, Dre, Steph, and Clay, because they reinvented basketball, right? Like, we take it for granted now because the entire league plays that way. But they pioneered and engineered and executed it. The 5 out, right?
Actually, Mark Jackson did
Mark
that.
Jackson
Just to put
deserves
respect on Mark Jackson's name.
He helped develop it. Develop it, but Steve Kerr.
They implement it.
The implementing the system they used was Steve Kerr. That was not Mark Jackson's system. He helped develop the players. But when you talk, but I'm just talking about the 3 of those guys right now. Steph and Dre really are the crime partners, and Clay just puts it over the top, right? Even though he gets the appeal as a splash brother. But like, Key, you got to put them on the list. They reinvented basketball, and they did it in a way where people were like, LeBron James had to have the greatest comeback of all time, the best player of his era in his prime on a loaded team, had to have the greatest comeback of all time to get by those 3 guys.
I understand that, but I'm saying just looking on paper and forecasting what may be the second half, or as Jay said, ain't the second half of basketball, because that's not true. There's only 25 games left, but you know what I'm saying. The second half and looking what they could be from a forecast standpoint, KD, CP3, I'm assuming stays healthy. I'm assuming he's re-energized by bringing a KD along. KD's healthy. Devin Booker's healthy. I understand what you're saying.
Tooth, Key.
Huh?
CP3's a little long in the tooth. This is not prime CP3.
No,
but he's long in the tooth, but the dude still can go.
So, Key, like CP3 right now, I would still call an elite game manager, right?
Yeah.
He's an elite game manager.
Well, you take that all day long. There's only 2 or 3 of them left in the NBA.
On paper, I think they have a chance to crack it.
You want to see it
on paper,
yeah.
But
we have
to see it. We have to see it.
I have
what you put the damn list up for if I can't put mine in there?
Yeah, no, you can put yours in there.
Yeah, I have a beef. I have one. It's not really a beef, but it's the way I view. Like you put a lot of value, as many do, it seems to me, on longevity and how consistent you can be over the years. So that to me is Duncan, Ginobili, Parker. Yeah. Let's say Parker if you're not going to include Kawhi.
That don't even look sexy.
But right.
That just
it's almost like based off GP, right?
But I don't.
It's off GP.
But I don't. I place more value, as long as you sustain it for a reasonable amount of time, on peak value. When I say the greatest or greatness, I'm really talking about what heights did you hit, and then did you sustain it for enough time to show me that's really you, right? Man, the Heatles, for example, the expectations were so high that we were like, wait, you lost in the finals? How dare you, right? Like, they weren't even allowed to lose in the finals, and they went to 4 straight and won back-to-back.
That was a super, super team.
Yeah, but I would put them ahead of Ginobili and Parker and Duncan.
All right, cool. So you got them. So where would you have Spurs? 3, 4?
As an organization, it's different. As a big 3, I would drop them to maybe 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's why I'm like, it ain't. But I didn't want to smash on them because I was looking at the history of the organization opposed to the history of those 3.
Right.
Like you, Max. Right. So when I look at them, I'm like, but
I hear you. For me, frankly, I put value over like chemistry. Like to me, the chemistry that those dudes had is number 1.
It allowed a sustained.
And like I know that fans don't see that. They can't really, but like that kind of continuity key and how dudes rock with roles and positions. It was incredible to watch. There was no ego on that team.
They were perfect. I was about to say, Jay, they were perfect for that organization.
Yes.
Yeah, that
perfect.
By the way, and much like you give credit for the big 3, which I think they deserve extra credit, of Steph, Clay and Dre. When Jay is making the case, Steph's top 10 all time, I'm like, nah, more like 12 or 13, whatever. But how much credit do you give a guy like Steph for contributing to a culture with his personality and style of play that everyone wants to play in, right? And that's the magnet for KD. Then that allows your organization to thrive at a nearly unprecedented level now for how many years, right? And get extra credit for that.
Steph, Clay, and Dre obviously is in somewhere, but the problem is once KD went there, it almost like erased Draymond.
They broke the universe.
It erased Draymond's greatness of what he did for the Warriors early on in his career. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is, right? Because he is still there, and KD isn't, and they still won a championship, and KD wasn't there, but Dre don't get the credit.
They won a championship with Clay basically just getting back from injury. Come on. All right. One of the Packers stars, Aaron Jones, will be staying in Green Bay. Will it have an effect on what their quarterback guy goes by the name Aaron Rodgers decides to do? Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
I think they like me. That's number one.
I think they like me.
I think they like me.
He thinks everyone likes him.
Yeah, you have to think positive in life, Max. You can't walk around being negative all the time, right?
This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Travis and Sliwa on 710.
Travis Slee, live from LA Live.
You could tell from the jump, he's like, I'm getting buckets tonight. Not I'm going to find the game's going to come to me. Not I'll take over when I need to. It's I'm breaking this damn record tonight, and it's going to happen pretty fast. And by the time we got to halftime, 20 at the half, they're like, oh, this is a wrap. It's just a matter of how far past it he's going to go.
Travis Slee, Monday morning at 10 a.m. after Key, Jay, and Max.
On 710 ESPN.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. Well, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or just go to eBay Motors and get it right the first time. When you see the green check, you know that part's going to fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride.
When you bundle your renters and auto insurance with Progressive, you could save money, but it doesn't cover any terrible memories living rent-free in your head.
Remember when one of your best players got injured, but not like on a play or anything? He got injured celebrating a play, and it's not like it was a game-winning play or in the playoffs. And he was out the rest of the season because he was injured while celebrating? Yeah.
Sorry, we can't save you from that memory, but we could save you money bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Renters insurance and bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
So what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course. Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
Season is on the line on this play.
Jared Goff, empty shotgun, takes a step, fires right side, got his man, and that will do it. That's the season, boys and girls.
I think it's going to be important to get through this week, to take my, my isolation retreat, just to be able to contemplate all things my future. And
what's isolation retreat? You're just going into a cave?
It's 4 nights of complete darkness. It's a darkness retreat.
Turn up the lights in here, baby. You know what I need. Want you to see everything.
So a tweet from Woody Page talking about it. Rodgers emerges from his darkness, sees his shadow. Does that mean there's 6 more weeks of winter? This is Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Max coming to you live from the Seaport, brought to you by Patron. Perfection starts with Patron.
Max, does he come out of there with a full beard or clean shave?
It's only 4 days.
Whatever beard he can grow. I don't think he'd be shaving in the darkness, right?
No, but I mean, I'm saying when he comes out. Yeah, when he come out, when next time we see him, is he going to have a full beard looking like a caveman, or is he going to be clean shaved?
My guess is when he emerges from the darkness, he'll then shave because like you want to kind of like a clean. He has a little beard when he emerges. He hasn't been shaving, and then he, takes that first step without the beard.
Do you think he'll see his shadow? Do you think if he doesn't, does that mean we're going to have
6 more weeks of winter? That's what Woody Page said.
Or 6 more weeks of just no decision?
Yeah, no decision.
He's got to make a decision because of money and all that free agency.
Adam Schefter tweeted, guys, a resolution. Instead of being released, Aaron Jones, the running back, will be staying in Green Bay this season after the Packers and his agents, Drew Rosenhaus and Ryan Matha, reached agreement on an $11 million salary for the 2023 season. That includes an $8.52 million signing bonus. Aaron Jones still will have 2 years remaining on his contract with the Packers, but this year has been adjusted.
Smart by him to realize the marketplace for his value. It's smart.
And joining us now, Jeff Darlington, ESPN NFL Insider. What's going on, Jeff?
Gentlemen, this whole darkness retreat gives me anxiety. Can you imagine sitting? I'm trying to respect his desires here, but
Jeff, I did a day, and I was talking to the guys about it. I don't know, whatever it was, a week or two ago. I did a day before.
Sounds like heaven.
I don't mind it. Yeah,
make
please.
the room cold. I'll go to sleep.
No kids for me in the darkness,
24 hours?
Yeah, man. I'll do that. No, that sounds like heaven.
I did 24 hours.
No food key?
Oh, no.
Well, I ate before. I ate, you got some nuts and stuff like that.
Why can't you have like a steak in the darkness or a burger or something?
What do you wear in the darkness? Do you have to wear anything? Like, is it?
I had on my
pants.
I just had I had on like boxers and a t-shirt.
And he had his James Purse light,
Yeah, it was light.
He had the light cotton. I know what you did. Yeah, he got that soft cotton.
I don't think I trust my thoughts enough to be inside of them for that long. Like,
it's a little claustrophobic, Jeff.
Doing some crazy stuff in the dark.
It's a little claustrophobic, but you look, man. It's not. Aaron's doing it for 4 days. It sounds 4 days is a bit long. A day, even maybe 2 days, is fine because really all you do is you gather your thoughts, you reflect on a lot of different things. Your body's, the toxins and all of that sort of stuff in your body.
Is ayahuasca involved as well?
What do you mean?
Is ayahuasca involved as well? Like in the darkness?
No, not for me. It wasn't. But it was
these toxins out in LA. Stop.
What you say, JD?
Jay, I was reading that you don't want to do that. He shouldn't do any kind of like drugs or anything, or it'll freak him out. Like you got to be like.
You're not doing drugs. You're jeez, Jeff.
What? I'm just asking. We're just talking. Jeff and I are talking it through.
Yeah, just talking, man. Jeez. I mean, maybe you need to go into some darkness.
Oh God, Jeff, stop. Well, look, man. Speaking of darkness, how dark is it right now for Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers in terms of what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, where he's going to play, what's happening with Lamar's money? Where are we at?
Yeah, I think that we're in a really unique situation with this year's sort of quarterback carousel. And I know we're prone to, use all the cliches, call it musical chairs, but it's not that this year. It's going to be a situation where, like, we have the timing on things is so different with Derek Carr, for instance, already available to sign, with Lamar Jackson still, seemingly working to get a long-term deal done with the Ravens, with Aaron Rodgers not only needing to figure out whether he's going to stay in Green Bay, but then figure out if the Packers are going to be amenable to taking what they can get in a potential trade. So there's like so many dominoes that need to fall at different times right now that it's going to be very difficult to project. You know, we know, for instance, it still to me feels like Derek Carr, the most likely landing spot would be the Saints. I know he visited there and basically said, I'm not going to allow for a trade to there, but that was merely so that he could kind of look at the landscape and decide where he wants to be. You know, I would be surprised if the Jets pulled the trigger on Derek Carr before getting more clarity on both Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson. But that's what makes this so interesting, is that if they wait too long, all of a sudden you could be left with nothing. So it's a very interesting situation for a lot of general managers around the league, and honestly, a tightrope that they're going to have to walk.
Jeff, this is sheer. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Jeff, this is sheer reckless speculation on my part. I'm just prefacing by saying this, okay? You are in the South Beach area. That's where you live, right? Beautiful, warm palm trees.
Sure. See the palm trees.
We have questions about Tua and durability, even though a lot of people love Tua in Miami, Mike McDaniels. Is there a chance that you think Lamar Jackson could end up with the Dolphins?
So I've gone through those kind of mental exercises myself, and like you think like, what does Mike McDaniel covet? He loves speed. I mean, I think that it's the kind of situation where he actually would really enjoy coaching Lamar. To me, the Dolphins, since the end of the season, and I say this sincerely, have been very adamant with me privately, and that they've done so publicly as well, that they are all in with Tua for this coming season. To me, though, it does remind me of a situation like going back to Tebow, for instance, a guy who, when he was with the Broncos, he was so popular within the community, just like Tua is in Miami. And if they were going to move on from him, it felt like they needed to do it. Like the second Peyton Manning signed in Denver, it was like everybody there forgot about Tim Tebow. That's the only kind of signing I think that they could have down here. One, either Lamar Jackson or Aaron Rodgers, to make everybody immediately be like, oh, well, they had to do that. So to me, like, I do think it's worth exploring. I don't know that it happens. Again, like I said, just from a fact-based standpoint, they've been very committed to Tua. And I guess I should continue to believe that they will be. But to your point, you know, you talk about Lamar Jackson in Miami with the speed that he'd have on the edges, and man, that sounds pretty.
I've been saying he's heading to the Dolphins for like a year now. Everyone told me I was crazy. All right, anyway,
Jeff Darlington, ESPN NFL reporter, emerging from the darkness and joining Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Jeff, when you look at Lamar in the situation with the Ravens, and we're talking about Miami and AFC East, but we also are talking about the New York Jets. What does this say about the way that Baltimore views Lamar? There's reports out there that he wasn't really involved in the offensive coordinating search at the level that he thought. And now we're talking about New York Jets within the conference. And typically, as you know, when you trade a talent like this within the conference, you view him as somebody that basically can't beat you or take you to the next level because you're willing to give a team that power for possibility within your conference. What does that say?
Yeah, I mean, they might not have a choice. Well, I should say that. They'll have a choice if they were to franchise tag him and trade him, and then they could have some sort of, I guess, say over the matter. But I mean, I think that the Ravens are at a point where they kind of, if they don't sign him, they've lost the luxury of being able to pick a destination like the Packers can do with Aaron Rodgers. So, to me, I think that the Ravens could continue to make efforts toward keeping him. But what tells me all I need to know is that ultimately they didn't get the deal done last offseason. I mean, they missed the window. The window, to me, it's such a fine line between signing a guy too early and waiting too long. And this reminds me more of when Kirk Cousins left Washington, where it was like the value, his perceived value, and which is what matters most, is higher than what they're willing to pay him. And whether that means because they're not willing to guarantee the money that he wants, the way that the Browns guaranteed money for Deshaun Watson, or whether it's the simple number of how much he'll ultimately be owed, it still, to me, feels like they're not getting there. And unless they do, to me, it's going to wind up being a situation where Lamar dictates where he plays next year.
Where do you think it is? No, there's no more where, Key. It's time. Where is it's time?
No, real quick, though, man.
Time to pay the bills.
No, man, stop. I know one answer. Where do you think he winds up at the end of the year? Real quick.
I don't. I want to give you an answer. I don't know. I know that's a cop out. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
Go back in the darkness.
Come to the light, Jeff.
Jeff Darlington, ESPN NFL Insider. Thank you, Jeff. Good
Jeff
talking to you as always.
Darlington.
Coming up.
Thank you, guys.
Could the Jets' second option be better than waiting for Aaron Rodgers? Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Jay is the basketball expert on the show, being one of the top point guards that come out of Duke. No question about it, so he sees it different.
This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Wake up with Key, J. Will, and Max.
Nobody does LA mornings like KJM.
Especially with those bad cheesesteaks in Philly.
Watch it.
Man, you can get the best cheesesteaks from any place that makes cheese.
They're making stuff up. You can't even give me that.
I'm making stuff up.
I'm with the Philly guys on this. It's not close.
Where?
He only likes kale cheesesteaks.
That's what it is.
It's LA.
Kale steaks.
LA mornings with LA's own Keyshawn.
Monday morning till 10 a.m.
on 710 ESPN. Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep your operation running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, Maria in Miami, and Jules in Troy, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with high-quality supplies for every industry, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This February, the PGA Tour returns to Los Angeles. You're invited to experience Golf Elevated. Experience the roars. Experience the riv. Experience the legacy. Elevate your game at the Genesis Invitational. Get your tickets at genesisinvitational.com.
Experience elevated at the 2023 Genesis Invitational as the PGA Tour stars including Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, Colin Morikawa, Max Homa, and more return to Riviera. February 16th through the 19th, experience the memorable moments on the course and the excitement outside the ropes. Get your tickets today at genesisinvitational.com and experience the roars and legacy at Riv. Tickets at genesisinvitational.com. That's genesisinvitational.com.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
If I could be you.
And you could be me for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way.
To get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Slip the coffee check, talk to doctor now and share.
Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor. Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Visit managerbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Blood clots can happen to anyone. Up to 900,000 people in the United States are affected by blood clots each year, and 100,000 die from them. Blood clots don't discriminate. You or a loved one could be at risk right now. The good news is blood clots can be prevented. Knowing the risks and symptoms are key. On average, one person in the United States dies of a blood clot every 6 minutes. Don't let that be you or someone you know. Learn more at stoptheclot.org/spread the word.
This is where the King made history.
LeBron, one-on-one against Kenrick Williams, backing him in. Turns, shoots, scores! There it is! Oh, hail! The new king in town!
One of the most iconic records in sports now belongs to the king.
The king, LeBron James, has passed the captain.
Congrats to the new king of scoring in NBA history. The home of King James and the Los Angeles Lakers
is 710 ESPN. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max in the morning.
On LA's mega sports station.
LA Sports Talk all day long.
710 ESPN.
Kobe White with Giannis on him. 3 to shoot. White gets a step and unable to finish. It's going to be Bulls' ball, but Giannis is down. It looks like he's grabbing at his hand or wrist.
That's how it sounded on TNT as Giannis Antetokounmpo injured his right wrist early in the second quarter against the Bulls. X-rays on Giannis' wrist came back negative, according to Bucks coach Mike Budenholzer, who said the initial reports on the injury were minor. Budenholzer added he was not sure about Giannis' status for All-Star Weekend. Paul George and Terrence Mann each scored 26 points as the Clippers beat the Suns 116-107 in the final NBA game before the All-Star break. Tells me after the All-Star break, that score might be a little bit different. Tiger Woods shoots 69 at Genesis Invitational, trails by 5 shots. Remember, you can watch every shot Tiger takes this morning at 10:15 a.m. Eastern, exclusively on ESPN+. SportsCenter is brought to you by O'Reilly. O'Reilly Auto Parts offers convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Place your order at O'ReillyAuto.com to pick up at your local store. They'll even bring it to you curbside, or have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35.
Season is on the line on this play. Jared Goff, empty shotgun, takes a step, fires right side, got his man, and that will do it. That's the season, boys and girls.
I think it's going to be important to get through this week, to take my, my isolation retreat, just to be able to contemplate all things my future. And
what's isolation retreat? We're just going into a cave?
It's 4 nights of complete darkness. It's a darkness retreat.
To life, back to reality, to life.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio.
Man, that's
when Belly came out,
however do you want to be,
and this scene came on, this song came on, it was like
when they're the eyes when they're walking through the club.
Sometimes you sit in a movie theater. I've heard Steven Spielberg talk about this, like when the lights go dark and there's this possibility anything could happen. That's one of those moments in movie history. When that song came on, you can help people, by the way, hard turn here, affected by the Turkey earthquake. And I haven't looked at the numbers in about a day, but it was over 32,000 last I looked, 32,000 dead from the earthquake in Turkey. There's horrible stories and also inspirational stories, digging kids out of rubble, but trapped for 5 days and a week. And please visit redcross.org/ESPN. That's redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond. They need equipment. They need more than they've got right there, right now. ESPN, redcross.org/ESPN. Okay. What we were talking about before the break was the various quarterbacks who could be available or are available in this offseason. And it seems like Aaron Rodgers heads the list, and everyone wants to, the Jets, and everyone has to wait out on Rodgers. And if you can't get Rodgers, you look at Derek Carr or Jimmy G or whatever, right? Or you look in the draft. But there's another name. There's another name, Keyshawn Johnson. You told me for a year now. I'm crazy to even think it. I kept saying maybe he goes to Miami. And the other name, we just talked about it with Jeff Darlington, is Lamar Jackson, who, unlike Derek Carr or Jimmy G, has superstar upside. Not just upside, he is a superstar when he's on the field. He's a superstar when he's on the field. And by the way, Lamar Jackson had a fourth quarter lead in every game he played in this season. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who else is on the field, injured either side. If you have Lamar Jackson, you have a chance to win every single game. Peter King on Football Morning in America, the Rich Eisen show on the Peacock, on peacocktv.com, said this is what the Jets could do if they don't get Rodgers. Listen.
We all think, and I think you think, that the number one step would be Aaron Rodgers. If that doesn't work, could the number two step be Lamar Jackson? I think the Jets are going to have a very tough decision on their hands. And, you know, I think they will go after Rodgers if he does play. And if they don't get him, I think they will at least put their sniffers out and seriously consider Lamar Jackson.
Key?
Wow.
Key, I'm not waiting on. If I can get Lamar Jackson on a team like the Jets or a young team that's still getting better, I can take him over Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, absolutely. I would too. Because of the youth. It's just, yeah, of course, I would too. You don't have to worry about if some people think that Aaron Rodgers is sensitive, you don't have to worry about the sensitivity nature of Aaron Rodgers playing in the big city like New York, even though I don't think he would be that sensitive. But Lamar Jackson doesn't care. Like he's Lamar. Like y'all say, Katie, just want to play basketball. He just want to play football. Give him his money. He want to play football. He don't care about all these commercials. Clearly, you can see that because based on him being the MVP, no commercials. I mean, guys nowhere, and he's the MVP of the league, right? So I know, which is crazy. Yeah, but that just goes to show you he's not worried about that sort of stuff, Jay. And the reason I chuckle, because I remember when this draft with Lamar came out, and I remember a specific person that told me that they wanted Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen instead of Baker Mayfield, but clearly the people in the room was not listening to the individual who evaluates quarterbacks, calls the plays, does all those sort of things. The general manager. The people in the room was not listening to the individual who evaluates quarterbacks, calls the plays, does all those sort of things. The general manager just isolated himself and made the Baker Mayfield case. A guy like Lamar Jackson, Max and Jay, he could make or break your damn career.
Yeah, he's different.